Let me get some water. Put my shit on. What's up, ladies? What's going on? What's happening? Who's going to be first in? Maybe I'll give someone something if they're first in. What do they want if they're first in? I get some gift. To be first, to be first. What's happening, guys? We got water. What's going on? What are you doing? No one's here, so it's just me, huh? Me v me, much like life. For you guys, as you be you. So there's an empty chat room. What's been happening, guys? What's been going on? Do you guys see the podcast that I did with Jack Hopkins? It was good. What's happening, guys? What's happening? Good to see you. What's going on, guys? What he's been doing? What's new with you guys? What's been happening? You guys like the lives? I'm doing the live here. It won't be that long. And then I'm doing it live with SRB Crypto to do a victory lap for my Zen call. My Zen call, I think I made about $60K this week. So it's decent. Decent money. For a non-novice, for a non-novice, that's the saying. But it is a fucking hard market at the moment to make money in, though. I will admit that for crypto, it's a very hard market to be making good money in at the moment. But that's the saying, like, the saying of crypto is that, again, you guys will lose all your money in the chop. Like, you guys forget what Altseason's like. Now it's just everyone's a trader, because understand that the reason why guys are running around saying outlandish statements is they get paid by the exchanges. Trading is gambling. Like, if I'm to build a casino, it's very hard for me to market it, but it's easier to market these leverage exchanges, which are essentially they're just margin exchanges. What's up? Good to see you in Breaking Free. Let me know if there's any suggestions or anything for that specific product as well. Let me know if you guys have any things that you yourself want to see covered more in there, and I will cover it. What's happening? Yeah, bad day. Very unlucky. I'm not sure how you would have unlucky. Maybe it's from the exchanges itself. I hope you guys aren't fucking trading. Like, see, I'm the anti-trader because, again, I don't get paid by any of the exchanges to tell you how good it is. I've been in crypto for 10 years. If I was a trader, I wouldn't be a millionaire. Like, I wouldn't be. I understand this chop and all of these ideas. They're for masters. Like, trading is for experts. You think you have an edge trading because you've drawn some meme lines. You have no edge trading. Trading is not for you, for most of you. As, like, it's like some guy goes to a roulette table and they're like, I'm using this strategy, or I'm using this, or I'm using that. It doesn't mean shit. Like, you don't have a strategy. On a long enough time frame, you will lose. It's just part of it. It's just the motion is always the same. Some people can make money trading, but it's very unlikely you. Most people who make money trading run a platform. Most people who make money playing poker get sponsored by the poker companies that get more people to lose money. Guys like Phil Hellmuth make a ton of money and then go broke the fucking months after playing, and they're the best players in the world. They just tell you that they're making all their money playing poker, but they're making all their money being essentially they lose everything, but they get replenished by essentially the platforms that, because then the viewers are like, I could be a poker professional because I know how to do maths, and then they lose fucking everything eventually. It doesn't matter how long you play or how good you are, you will lose. It's gambling. I say that as someone who's launching SoulStake. You guys shouldn't be fucking gambling. SoulStake itself will have an iGaming option as well, but it's your fucking life. It's a creator platform, so essentially it's a platform where creators can interact with the viewers, and they can do anything that they want on there. If they want to iGame with the customers, they'll have it. There's a license for that, so the creator can game with. It's not really been done before. Imagine that you have stake and you have kick. This SoulStake is a hybrid of both. So you have a streaming platform, but the streamers can play games with the viewers if they want. It's all licensed. So, I mean, if you guys want to go in there and fuck your life up gambling, that's to be determined by you. If you guys want to simp on there, because the creator's going to be, there's going to be a KYC option. If you guys want to sit there and jerk off over chicks, we'll by all measure. But again, it's not only that. But that's just, I'm not unrealistic to say that's generally where people go to. Any platform that you launch, it kind of goes the same way. Money and pussy, it's part of it. It's just the part of it. It's why it just exists. It's a national thing. It's just how people work. It's your life. It's your option to do whatever it is that you would want. It's a free fucking country. It's a free platform. That's the power of decentralization, though. If you're to launch a decentralized platform, well, then people are going to be able to do whatever they want on there. by definition. You can't have a platform and then, be for free speech and free this and free that, and then censor people if they want to do other shit. So that's to be determined by essentially what it is that people would want to do on there. But that's going to be Soul Stake, or at least a part of it. That's going to be a big part of it. I imagine that's where most of the revenue will come from. Soul Stake will be a massive business. Like, it will be huge. Because essentially Kick and Stake, and I've met the owner of both of those once before, Ed. I've actually met Ed Craven before. And it's then essentially I'm building a hybrid of both. What are your thoughts on JD Vance? I think that they're to lead the future Christian movement, and they're to lead the Christian movement off a cliff. I think that there's a real risk that essentially Eric, or not, what's the Kirk guy? He might be brought back as the Antichrist in the future. Survived the headshot. He's dead now, but they might be able to bring him back either in an AI hybrid system, or they might actually be able to bring him back from the dead. Like, you think they can't reanimate people, and they already can. Anyone that gets a headshot and they're in a religious element, like people think that he's a Christian leader now, but the one who comes back very likely won't be. I would be very afraid in that sort of an idea, because the beast comes back after a headshot. That's the story. He loses one head and then comes back. He lost his head, half of it, and now he's to come back. I would believe that's very likely what's to come. They want to lead the Christian movement because killing Christians is the most profitable business that you could be in today. It really is. Like, do you know how much money I could make leading a Christian movement and then fucking you guys over? A lot. Do you know how much money I could make moving people away from Christianity? A lot. That's the most profitable business that you could run. A lot of influencers were paid very large amounts of money to divert people away from Christianity. I hope you guys fucking know that. A lot of cash. Very profitable. Not just profitable, but profitable in ways that to get a lot of audience. If you stand there and tell people to revert, be religious, or join Jesus and change from one thing to Christianity or something like that, it can be profitable, but it's only profitable if you're to lead them off a cliff later. That's the business. That's the most profitable business. You know how much money it costs to fund these groups around, those shithole part cuts of Africa where they kill Christians? It costs a lot of money to fund militias there. And why do you think who do you think funds them? Do you think that they just kill Christians for no reason? They just do it for fun for no reason? Doesn't make sense. Or do you think that they're actually paid to do it and armed to run around and kill them? That's very profitable. That's why they do it. They wouldn't do it for free, for no reason. Where are the guns coming from? Where do the weapons come from? It's very profitable. It's extremely profitable. You don't see the Judas idea, you get your bag of silver, and that's true. Anyone can do shit for a bag of silver. I mean, that's what happens a lot now. There's a lot of people that took money to do that, and now the money, similar to the alcoholic who keeps drinking and he can't taste the liquor anymore. You eat an apple and now there's no sweet. It doesn't taste sweet anymore. It tastes sour, because nothing will ever be enough, because essentially you've sold out. It's a congruency funnel. It's one thing to be another religion or whatever. It's your choice. I mean, it's different. But what's different when you believe Christ in your heart and you still move against him because you're in trouble otherwise, or it's financially profitable. It's just part of it. But there's nothing to do. It's not for me to determine. You can't buy your soul back if you sell it. Doesn't matter if I sit there and say that it's all okay, because it probably isn't. It's irrelevant what I say. It doesn't matter. It's part of it. But I understand this denouncing Christ is going to be a bigger thing into the future. It'll be a UBI concept. You'll get an app, and then to say that you're a Christian, there'll be a decay. Yeah, I don't believe any of that crap. Why would XRP replace fucking Bitcoin? They're so fucking dumb. Why? Because you hold giant bags of XRP, a centralized coin that's just a shit token. It's nothing. It's a nothing token. It's nothing. If I wanted to tomorrow and I had enough funding, I could build another XRP. It's a nothing. They're all fucking retards in that sort of a field as well. It's like Hashgraph. Do you know Hedera Hashgraph fucked me over? I was a very early investor in that specific technology, and that they essentially fucked me over and never told me that they ran earlier funding rounds. I was invested in fucking Hedera. I put millions of dollars in there, or 1.5 million in the ICO, and they didn't tell me that they were running funding rounds 100% and shit. Who is it, Mance or whatever, that fuckwit? I had a live stream with him and talked to him months before after the funding round, and they're just cockroaches. Those people, the Hedera people, Hedera what's the fucking Hebrew cash grab? That's all fucking Hedera hash grab. Like, that's all it is. They're fuckwits that run that company for sure. And I say that knowing that there's downside to say that, but it's just the truth. I was an early investor and they essentially cucked me on that sort of a program. And they offered me they offered everyone that had invested early, they offered you we'll give you more tokens, but essentially you just to, go along with it. We'll give you more tokens, but this will be the solution. And it was like 1 cent or something because it had crashed because obviously they had these earlier rounds and they didn't disclose. And then I was like, I was the only one who didn't take it because I was like, oh, this is bullshit. This isn't good enough, whatever. And now obviously everyone else sold their soul and just like, it's okay. We'll just take it for the bags of silver. And they got big returns. Obviously they made millions of dollars during that call and I lost the million. But I don't say that shit is, good if it's not. Yeah, it's problematic. I mean, it's pretty obvious, like Erica Kirk, but like Christians and things like that, they don't realize that they're going to be pushed to the Zionist pivot. Like it's obvious. Like, I mean, it's obvious since birth and since inception that, like Israel, people think that Israel of today is the same Israel from the Bible. Like people are dumb. Like people are really stupid. Like they're really dumb. The Jews will inherit the earth and they're God's people. And that's all dumb. Like stuff is dumb. Like you're probably dealing with a largely edited book with certain parts have been changed. But all this like turn the other cheek and like just be a cuck and, like I'm stoic and nothing can upset me and pain is okay. They're all like cuckold terms to get you to obsess, like think about what is to come and just accept it. How do you run objective and rational business in such a subjective and irrational world? That's very true. You just have to accept that the times have changed. The world is speculation. Businesses like are making margins. A lot of that stuff is dying because the margins are getting squeezed and they will get squeezed post AI. You need to be in the speculative mania. I would only be worried in a term of I do everything right and I own a house and I own a business, but what happens if my business becomes irrelevant in 5 years and I can't make any money in it? And now I own a bunch of assets, but they tell me that I can't get UBI until I sell my assets and all live off them. So therefore, I'm now having to just pull from my equity to live forever. So I lose anyway. So I may be multi-millionaire, but I'm still a little bit better than the guy who's the UBI bug person because now I might have a house. I might not be stuck under the leasing rules that they're under, but I have to lose on a decay. Because that's what's coming. I mean, that's obvious. Like, I hope that you guys could be very aware of if you're not investing in the tech that's to be replacing you and you're not essentially learning it or you're not to profit off it in the next 5 years, you'll be a serf. It's the truth. Like, I hope that you know that. There's no like, I know some people are sitting there being like the Crusades are coming or something, and I hope that you lose that like delusion. The only version of the Crusades that will be to come is that you'll get psyoped by a leader and guys are running around after like JD Vance or some fucking turd like that is telling them that they're on their side for some reason. Musk is telling you to go right in the UK. So essentially all that happens is that they do massive control orders for essentially the gov. That's all they want. They want you to riot so then they can come in with a draconian control and be like, we needed more IDs and more surveillance. It's not safe. Who is making the money from the product, specifically that tech field? You're not allowed to invest in it, so you're not actually making any money in that field. You'll be allowed to buy bubbles later in the cycle, but it's not like the .com. The .com, the average guy could jump in and be like, all right, I'm moving money in, but they're actually recycling their own funds through the company. They're trying to monopolize it as much as possible, meaning that they don't want you to invest in anything that's going to be a success. You can't own any of the infrastructure that essentially will replace you. That's what they're trying to do. They don't want you to have any equity in the system that replaces you, so you have no say. You have no voting rights. You don't ride on that bubble. You don't get any of the hype. You don't get any of the speculative cash. And then you just get replaced by it. That's the dream. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. That's why they're recycling their own money through those companies. OpenAI takes a loan of $1 billion or 100 billion or 200 billion from NVIDIA, from this bank, from that. They're not letting you invest. They're in a roundabout way using your money, but they're not letting you invest. So you don't own any of the shares. No, assets will still matter, meaning that if you own a house, so if you own a house, you'll have more, you won't be stuck under a lease. You won't be, controlled under a lease as much. But I would be cautious that you need to be not under a lease as much as possible. So you want to own a house, a house or something. I don't have to abide by these leasing laws, meaning I don't have to share rooms with bug people because that's coming. This idea in the UK, you need to do your research where you look around and they're like, there's if you have an empty room in your house, you have to rent it out or you pay an extra tax. That will become more of a thing. That's the dream, like having you're forced to integrate. You don't like the people around you, but you're forced to have them there or you'll be paying a penalty. Yeah, but apartment blocks is problematic. I don't know why people think like this coming of Jesus is to become from a person. It's not. And in what part of Revelations do you say that you're not to die? Jesus is going to come and he's going to hold my hand and he's going to wipe my butt and save me just like he did he never saved the saints. So why the fuck do you think he's going to save you? If you're to move down a congruency funnel, you have to show that you have to be able to stare death in the eye. There's no congruency funnel. If faith is faith, I'm doing something, although I know that I might be wrong. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe this makes no sense, and I'm taking a leap of faith. If God is essentially guiding me the whole way, holding my butt, then there's no faith because I know He's real. It's not going to be easy. Like, well, on what planet do you think that it's to be easy? Because you see these like bug people getting slaughtered in Africa and things like that, and you think that that can't come to the West for some reason. You've been insulated from it for too long. It's there at a very minute amount now, but it's going to scale up. This idea of like, certain in Canada, they're like, oh, you can't talk about certain chapters of the Bible. They're trying to bring that in. You can't talk about, to be a Christian and like anyone who believes in Jesus, you'll be on a decay. You'll be on a decay to be any sort of like any sort of Bible believing figure. Because again, your leadership, anyone wants to lead the movement for you that's Christian is corrupt. Like they're all corrupt figures. This like chick, what's the Erica Kirk and things like that. They're all corrupt. I hope you know that. Like people think that anyone running around with this big Jesus cross and shit, don't you fall for it for some reason? You don't realize there's a reason why they're running around with a big cross. It's not because they believe in Jesus. They want you to see that Jesus and reflect it onto them for some reason. Jesus didn't authorize them to carry his fucking shit around. You're leeching off him, his hard work and the shit, the parts of him. You can't match up to him, nor should you try to. The cross is by definition also that they're showing you that they killed the perfect man. That's a humiliation ritual. I'm running around showing that Jesus was crucified. Yes, that's why they do it. They mock you. The last person that mocked us, we fucking murdered. And you sit there and you're like, yeah, this is strong for some reason. You don't look at how he died, but you don't look at how he lived. That's the beauty of a psyop. You don't see what he stood for. You just see that he was murdered, but you don't consider what it is that he stood against because you don't realize the power of essentially what he was looking at and the reflections of what it is in your own life. You're to see that he died. That's dumb. You don't see that the very things that he stood against, some of them you're facing today, but you don't see it because you're focused on, the cross and like he was crucified and a bunch of other shit. That's a humiliation ritual. When they parade Jesus through the cities in like, Spain or Italy, that's a humiliation ritual. And you don't see that. Well, your last one that stood against us, we fucking butchered. And you sit there and you're like, oh yeah, this is like really, this is pretty powerful for some reason. They're humiliating you. We take your leader and we show that we murdered him and you didn't do shit. That's the idea about it. That's why they do it. And then people sit there and they're like, I wonder why they're allowed to do this. But then if you started talking about what Jesus did, flipping tables and shit, then you would have a big fucking problem. You would be canceled because that's what they don't want to talk about, but they want to talk about that they killed him because they're proud of that. Like they're proud of the fact that they crucified him. That's the truth. But they're not proud of the things that he himself stood for and stood against. They don't want to talk about. It's pretty obvious when you see Erica Kirk, she's one of the chosen people. You got to realize though also that there's a lot of those people like those ministers and things like that, and they're led by their cock, so they get that's easy for them to fall into, oh, girl's got a pretty face or whatever, and we're going to move them together, and then they fall under that sort of a spell. Like, do you think that fucking what's that FBI guy? What's the FBI dude? And then he has that chick with him. Like, do you really think that that's not like it's obvious that she's some sort of agency type? Guys were looking at him and thinking that he's like some hard man. He looks as soft as cookie dough. Yes, he has some people behind him that can do shit. But again, they're putting incompetent people into those positions because when he finishes his role, if he could short his life, he would. Like, what do you think his future is after his role's finished? He knows too much. Like, what do you think they're just going to be like, yeah, you can just ride off into the sunset? He knows too much. Like, the government is not going to be happy with the risk that his cookie dough. If they broke him, someone else could break him later, and then he'll be like, yeah, it's true. I saw so much shit with the Epstein logs. I saw much stuff happening with the Epstein logs that's a big risk. He knows where the bodies are buried, as it were. Another one is that fucking what's his name? That the Ukrainian PM. Like, his life is not going to be great after all that finishes. They're going to have a complete revolution when the money dries up. When the money dries up, and it's the same thing with prison. There's heaps of drugs in the unit, but as soon as the drugs run out of the unit, everyone's fighting with each other and all of the drama starts. It's the same thing with Ukraine. They've got drowning in money now that's, essentially to be given to troops. It's a funny thing. They get their troops, they give them, flak jackets with no armor plates. They give them rifles that are broken, and then they turn around and buy a G-Wagon. It's fucking disgusting. That country is fucking disgusting. I would never have anything to do with the people of that spot. It's disgusting what they do to their own people. I'll get kids from the villages and give them a broken rifle so that I can get a G-Wagon. That's disgusting. That sort of behavior is just, I pay money so that you die and I don't die because I go and sit in Warsaw in my Rolls Royce. But the poor can go and fight my war. That's defective. It's disgusting beliefs, those sort of ideas. I give you broken gear so that I myself can go and, I give you a rifle with 3 bullets and you go die, you've got no training. But yeah, I want to keep that extra cash for me. I want to buy a new car and my fucking wife wants a trip to, the Alps. They don't care. Like, they don't care if their own people are killed. They don't give a shit. But also, you got to understand that a lot of those people in those places, you don't know what money does to people. Money will corrupt everyone, like, for real. It's just a corrupting force. Everyone is honest in this and that and against things until they get to the top of the pile and then they go corrupt. It's just the nature of people. Like, it's always going to be the same. Everyone is just the same. Like, it's just, unfortunately, it's the nature of people. If you're to push me to be the king, I would be corrupt as well. Like the king of fucking, I don't know, places like London or something like that. I would become that way. Because it's the nature of life. Like, originally it starts where you're like, oh, I don't want my own people to suffer. I'd look after my own people versus someone else's. But I don't want to, it's just the nature of it. Like, you're going to look after your own people ahead of others. You just have to do it like that. They're your people. So that's where it all starts. People look at like that royal family, like the, I don't know, Prince Andrew or whatever, and they're never going to know exactly what happened with that sort of shit. It's just the nature of it. But everyone's kind of capitulated, I think, on the West. Like, that's why you go to UAE and places like that, and people know where they stand there and that there's a lot of, it's a good place to work. There's a lot of tax benefits to being in UAE as well, compared to being in, like, I don't know why people are paying so much to be in, like, England, paying to be in the US, paying to be in Australia. I was in Australia, I was paying 50% taxes. I don't even agree with most of the programs where my taxes were going. I have no say. I'm paying, and then my kid's in school and I have to move her to private school. So she's not being, like, exposed to crap that I don't agree with. Because with gay people and things like that, I don't care if someone's gay. Like, I don't. But for me, I don't give really much of a shit. I get others don't like them. But I don't like when it's peddled to my kid, pushed to them. Pushing is different. Like, like drugs exist and people are like, oh, if I want to find them, maybe I can, in the West or something like that. But I don't like it pushed to them. Someone runs up and they're like, try this or do that. It's different. Like, it's different when, I don't know, like weed exists, but then you see it on the news and they're like, or you see it on TV and it's marketed to you. Gambling exists and that it exists. And, but then you see sports bet in Australia and, like, you're watching a game and then you're like, people are promoting gambling and a bunch of other crap to you. It would be easy if you're just on sports bet and you could just, put a bet on and enjoy the game and all, and then it ties it all together. So you're used to enjoying a game and, like, relaxing, but now it has a gambling element to it. So it's not actually fun anymore because you watch it. And if you ever start betting, the game isn't fun anymore. It's ruined. Because even if you win, you're still like, I didn't really enjoy it. Like, it was tense. It used to be a time when I would relax, and now I don't relax. Holding is like that. Crypto, if you're in crypto, the only edge that you have in crypto is that you can hold time. You have no edge in trading. You're just delusional that you think that you have an edge. Trading is diluted. Yeah, virtual looks good as well. Zen looks good. I think Zen runs like, $60 to $100 this cycle. Bizanacci, no. Who is that? Which one's Bizanacci? I've heard that name before. I think it's the famous meme, right? Didn't he kill himself or something? Is that the guy? Well, that's the story. So I hear. Yeah, so I hear. I mean, I heard the story. Maybe it's not. What's your life path number? You have to determine that for me. I think it's 11. Yeah, Biz was the meme legend. My numbers are actually ironically 11, 7, and 5, and my birthday is 11, 7, 85. Yeah, I do believe that it can be, because imagine this. 2027 OpenAI launches at 1 trillion, right? Do you think OpenAI know when to launch their go public? Or do you think they're going to go public in a bear market? Or do you think they're going to go public, essentially probably form the market top? And that's likely. And then you can see OpenAI itself is 1 trillion as a company, but you can't see the crypto sector will become 1 trillion in AI, like 500 billion to a trillion. That's coming. Now it's like 30 billion or something. So that whole sector has to 20x, 30, 40x. Because you can't get exposure to OpenAI and things like that, and you want exposure to AI, like the AI space. So you're going to get it in crypto. You're going to be like, I want exposure in that sector, but I don't want to buy OpenAI at $1 trillion. I don't like Sam Altman. I don't trust him. But I'll buy like this shit coin because I know that this is for the small players and I might have a chance of making something. Because you're going to hit this period in life where essentially people will turn around and be like, I need 100x. Like, I am cooked as fucking cooked can be. I need 1,000x. Like, this is the only chance that I have now. I need a complete lottery ticket win. I can't put 5K in OpenAI because that's not enough. I need to put 5K in a complete shit coin that makes 100x. So that's why this alt season to come will be the biggest alt season that has ever come. I hope you guys know that this alt season that will eventually come will be the biggest alt season that has ever happened. Just because it's just human psychology, like it's pure game theory. We're going to get a period of QE, easier Trump money. And it's this, people know that they're cooked. Like, people know how fucked they are, that they need to turn $1,000 into $1 million. That's why they'll have the biggest lottery mentality. So gambling platforms, these prediction markets, altcoins, anything ultra speculative will have a massive mania. But essentially the hardest thing for crypto is that you have the pump funds and the tokens that are essentially just stripping liquidity immediately. So all that shit needs to change. You have a lot of like companies that are just there to extract. They only exist to just suck liquidity out of the market. And that's part of it, unfortunately. But there will be a mania. It will occur. Oh yeah, the normies are going to get cooked for sure, right? The normies will get toasted. Essentially what will happen is they'll form the cycle top and they'll just get completely rinsed out of the market of everything that they own. So what will happen is you don't own much. Maybe you have like 5 or 10K to put into something and you'll form the top of the cycle. And then the companies that you invest in, like, you're invested in cryptos and things of AI that aren't to be a success. And you don't know what to sell. Like, you're in love with that fucking BitTensor is going to do something for some reason. It's not. It's just that BitTensor is just a market index for the AI space. It will go higher. Of course, I've done predictions for SW crypto. If Richard Hart is a peasant, like he's a pest, Richard Schuler, like, do you not know he's one of those people? Schuler, that's his real name. His whole history is fraudulent. It's true. He was the spam king, and then essentially what happened was he didn't get rich in Bitcoin. He wasn't this, like, guys think that he was some whale for some reason. He got rich in Hex. He might have had money, but he didn't have the money that he had because as soon as he got rich in Hex, he actually started buying everything. He's a consumer. He's a mass consumer. He convinced you that running around and buying shit from Louis Vuitton was good marketing for your essential Hex. They don't know that he's selling that to buy that. He's a slob. That's not to say he didn't produce a good product in Hex and things like that, and the early adopters got rich, but the system is finished. Do you think that he's going to use his Ethereum that he essentially recycled off you to go and buy the product and bail you out? He's not going to do that. That would be stupid. He's also very greedy. Like, he's a very greedy person. That's part of what's made him success. And he's good with game theory and things like that. And he's smart, but he's just slob. Like, it's obvious. Those people and things like that, like, you had your run. Hex had its 1000x. Well done. Congratulations. Do you know how many people I know that were retards that got rich in Hex? Like, they don't know anything and they just got rich because they were forced to stake a lot. That's it. Like, you had a very lucky period, and I would hope that you sold. And if you haven't sold, I mean, what are you waiting for? It's had its fucking massive run. Why has Hex had any value? Like, there's no utility, there's no value to it. I stake Hex to get more Hex, but what's the point of buying Hex? I buy it because it's going to go up, but it's massively inflationary. What if it doesn't? Even if he was to recycle all of his money to buy Hex, it wouldn't make any sense. Why would he bail out bag holders? See, Hex is a problem. See, Soul Stake, essentially the product that I'm building, it has revenue. It will also be able to operate in iGaming and essentially be able to be a not safe for work platform. It will be able to be everything. So it actually has revenue. Hex doesn't make any money. It's pointless. I have Hex bonds and I lock it up so that I get more Hexes, but there's no engine behind it. There's no buybacks. There's no, there's no nodes that get revenue share. There's no fucking product. You were the product. That was pointless. You were in a Ponzi that essentially there was no engine. The engine was himself that you had invested, and he was recycling the ETH from the crowd sale to buy more Hex, lock it up, and then he was staking. He was using so essentially taking the Ethereum and then recycling it through. So you send 500 ETH, and then he recycles it through the contract again. The sacrifice itself, like, he's just using his own money into the sacrifice, and because essentially I'm buying tokens off myself. The sacrifice, like, I mean, people gave their money away for some reason. What's the top jobs AI proof that requires human interaction, good communication, soft skills, authenticity? I would say sales, I guess. But it's not to say that there's really AI proof. There's AI resistant. But if you're a shit salesman, your job can be done by AI anyway. You have to just become a master in the trade or be a public figure is to be good as well. Just, you got to work hard for 5 years, because there's lucrative upends. I mean, if you're good with the AI tech and the products and, essentially the tools, you can scale faster now. But you got to just take advantage over the next 5 to 6 to 7 years. 2030 by 2032, absolutely. You've got to be set. The individualization path, you have to be down, and you have to know yourself, because it's going to be much harder to get to figure yourself out later. But you also have to have your finances at least under control. You have to be invested in the market. Unfortunately, because it's just a shit market at the moment for altcoins and a shit market for many things, but you still have to be in it. I think TON is this massive inflation. Like, what's the point of TON again? Like, what's the point of Telegram fucking chain? Like, what's actually like driving it? Speculation. All the altcoins. Yeah, it's true, right? Altcoins you guys love, like joining the community and being like, oh, I'm really excited. Ton coin, Telegram. I'm bullish on Telegram for some reason, even though they're going to bring massive censorship eventually. And I myself am getting struck on that platform. Telegram, if they don't sign over to essentially give access, they're cooked. Like, that platform will be banned. So I'm not bullish on these sort of platforms unless they can take more money from outside because they sell out. I think that memes can catch somewhat of a bid, but AI itself, I mean, we're seeing that that's the narrative to come. AI is very early, but I'm not, like, memes are pointless. Like, everyone's kind of, I believe, over them. Do I think Doge runs like $1 and, altcoins and Toshi go like 5 or 10x or something? Probably, but people are tired of altcoins. Like, altcoins, just specifically memes. Oh, I want to know CC's dog and fucking FTX Sam had a fucking cat. That's all getting old. Everyone's over memes, like I am as well. Because memes is just so easy to start one. Like, there's zero barrier of entry. Some influencer just continually pumps out, shitting them out every 5 seconds. Pump fund tokens. They don't generate any revenue. Yeah, SLB crypto and TCMs. This is much more comprehensive because I do lives every week in there. And then I do lives probably maybe twice a week. I don't know this person. I don't know who that is. But yeah, I mean, everyone's over altcoins. All right, lads, I'm doing a live call with SLB crypto, but I'll talk to you guys soon. Any more questions or anything, just ask in Telegram, and I'll see you guys soon. Stay in the market and stay strong. Don't be shaken out. Don't be afraid. I mean, yeah, what they're pushing 30 billion through the repo market, meaning that essentially the banks might be in some danger, but banks are just going to be a danger that you lose market share, because essentially what you would see is banks will die and then essentially a few of them rise. Tether will be the largest one, JP Morgan. A lot of them will use stable coins. All right, lads, talk to you soon. And don't be afraid, like I said. And yeah, breaking freeze up. So if you guys want to join that, until next time.